Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. First and foremost, I would like to say a happy new year to each and every one of you. It's so great to have you guys in 2021. I'm so glad we made it out of 2020. You know, that's a very crazy year. But you know what, 2020 was a crazy year, we have to say the camera industry did not disappoint. So for today's video, we are looking at 10 of the best cameras that came out in 2020. Before we get to the main stuff of the video, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, turn on post notifications so you can get more of my videos. I post photography and filmmaking and creative and camera related content on a weekly basis. That's it, let's get into the video. Number 10 on the list is the Canon T8i. Now, this camera might be called the Canon 850 or the Canon Kiss 10i, depending on what part of the world you're in. I think in Asia it's called something different, and then whether it's North America or thereabout, it's called something else. But for the sake of this video, I'm calling it the Canon T8i. It's a fantastic camera that somehow did not get enough recognition last year. While most of the cameras that came out last year were mostly mirrorless cameras, this particular camera is one for the DSLR community. If you're a DSLR shooter, you will certainly enjoy this camera. I don't know how this camera did not get enough recognition last year because the specs are absolutely wonderful. It's an entry-level camera, but it comes with an APS-C sensor of 24 megapixels. You get 7.5 frames per second continuous shooting. It also has a max ISO of 25,600, and the most impressive thing I think is mind-blowing about this camera is that it shoots in 4K at 25 and 24p. Plus, it also comes with digital video stabilization. But that's the weird thing. I think that's the weird thing about this camera, because it comes with digital video stabilization, but there is no form of image stabilization on this camera. However, it's a fantastic camera, and it costs about $800, more or less, you know, below or above $800 depending on your lens selection. Number 9 is the Fujifilm X-S10. Fantastic camera, another entry-level camera on the list, coming at the bottom of the list, not because it's a bad camera, but because it's an entry-level camera, and I think it did fantastic. Also, it runs on a 26 MP APS-C sensor. You shoot 20 frames per second, continuous shooting, ISO of 12800, and crazily, it comes with 5-axis image stabilization, like in-body image stabilization. That's not something you see all the time. And to wrap it all up, like, what was the trend for 2020 was that this small camera shoots 4K. It shoots at 35, 25, and 24p, and you also get high-speed video mode to shoot at 24 frames per second. Number 8 on the list, we are getting higher and higher.
I'm going higher, yes I am. I'm going higher someday.
Okay, so number 8 on the list is the Nikon Z6 II. If you have followed my videos in the past and you've seen the video I made on the Nikon Z6 II, then you know that I'm extremely impressed with the camera. Nikon got almost everything right with this camera, and I think it could still use some improvement, especially with the lens selection that comes for the Z mount. But generally, I think this is a fantastic camera, and yeah, it deserves the number 8 position for our camera list today. Number 7. For this position, a lot of people are going to come for me for it, come for my head. But, well, it is what it is. It is what it is. So in this position, we have a tie, and our tie is between the Canon R6 and the Sony A7C. Take a chill pill, just cool down. I found it very hard to pick between the two which should go before the other, so I just had to put them on the same pedestal because they are both fantastic cameras. The R6 is one of the most underrated cameras, but that is understandable. It came out with the R5, which we'll be talking about later in the video, and the A7C, also a fantastic camera, small full frame camera that just blows my mind. Now, I have to say that they have a lot of features in common, but the R6 also does better than the A7C in a couple of ways. But then I had to put them on the same pedestal because the R6 costs a lot more also. In number 6 is the Canon EOS 1DX Mark III. You probably saw this one coming also. It's also for the DSLR community. This one could have easily fallen behind the A7C and the R6. It could have fallen behind them or on the same pedestal with them also, but I have to say that I was a little biased for them for this camera because most of the companies seem to have been paying so much attention to the mirrorless division last year that they forgot that there are DSLR shooters, and they want good stuff too. But I have to say that the EOS Mark III is 1DX Mark III is a fantastic camera. No cap, like not even a single cap. This camera, everything you get from the A7C, everything you get from the R6, you get on this camera. But there's a catch. There's an extra, not a catch. A catch is a bad thing. There's an icing on the cake. Yes, this camera shoots 5.5K RAW. That is absolutely amazing. That's not something you see every day. This camera is the regular size camera that shoots 5K. This is something you would usually get from cinema cameras. If you like to see a review of the camera, I will leave a video, the link to Peter McKinnon's review of the camera. I watched his review when the camera was announced, and it is mind blowing. So I'll leave it. I think it's here. Probably here. I'm not sure. I don't here. But I'll leave a link so you should see it popping up. You can watch it after I watch this video. We're getting to the top 5, and number 5 is the Panasonic Lumix X5. If you watched the second to the last video I posted in 2020, you would already know that this camera was going to appear high up on the list. I'm not even going to say much about it because I already talked enough about it in that video. So if you want to see that, I'll leave a link to the description. I'll also link a card here for you to check that video out. The Lumix X5 is a fantastic camera. Let's not spend too much time talking about it. I don't need to say too much. Fantastic camera, fantastic features on paper, in hand, on field. Wonderful. In number 4 is Nikon Z7 II. If you saw the Z7, you saw the Z6 II, then you already expect the Z7 II to also be on this list. I had to place it above most of these other cameras, not because it's a perfect camera, but because it is a good camera. It was one of the best to come out last year. Nikon have been collecting a lot of flack because of their Z series as a whole, their Z mount series, but I feel like they did good. They did good with the 2 cameras of last year. The Z7 II, especially for photographers. Photographers are going to enjoy using either the Z7 II or the Z6 II. It just depends on your preferences. It is definitely one of my best cameras for last year. The competition is getting hotter. We are now in the top 3. Now at this point, I am sure you have already guessed the cameras in the top 3. The problem now is to arrange them. Please do not come for my head. In number 3 is the Sony A7S III. No pun intended. I didn't even think about it when I honestly wasn't even thinking about it. But yeah, the Sony A7 III comes 3rd best in this list. Why? Well, when you compare it to the other cameras, they do a lot better in a lot of ways, and they are all on the same, just about the same price range. So I decided to put it here. Most of the features are epic features: 4K, 10-bit 422 ISO. I talked about it in one of my videos. You can check. I'll leave some of those videos linked in the description so you can check them out yourself. I don't want to say much about specs in this video. For cameras, I have already talked about in previous videos. So, but we all heard about the A7S III. It's not an unpopular camera like some of the ones at the bottom of the list. It's a popular camera, it's a fantastic camera, and it comes in at number 3. I'll explain why. I'll explain much better when we get to number 2. In number 2 is Fujifilm X-T4. If you're not a Fuji fan, then you probably didn't hear about this camera, but either way, it's a fantastic camera. Why I rated this camera, even though it was not as popular or as used as whatever as the Sony A7S III, why I rated it above the A7S III is because most of the important features that you would find on the A7S III are on this one. The important features that matter to you as a photographer, filmmaker, videographer, whatever you are, or just regular YouTuber, although I wouldn't recommend these cameras for regular YouTubers, but yeah, there's that. So most of the common features, most of the important features are common with these 2 cameras, but the Fuji X-T4 has some features better, and it costs less. It costs a whole lot less. If you've watched my videos in the past where I've compared cameras, price is a very important part of the whole journey. So I have to say that this is why I rated the X-T4 over the A7 III. And for the one we've all been waiting for, you probably already saw this one coming. This was definitely the best camera of 2020. Like, there's no cap on it. There's no we're not thinking about this. What? the Canon R5. The Canon R5 was by far the best camera. A small body camera that was doing 8K footage and, you know, shutting everybody's computers down. Without a single doubt, the world, you know, witnessed a grand camera in the Canon R5. Canon outdid themselves, and, you know, we don't even know how if it can get better than that, but we'll just have to wait and see in 2021. So what do you think? Let me know your thoughts on this list in the comment section below. Which would you have ranked above the other? I for one think that all of the companies were very unfair to the DSLR community in 2020, but there's hope that this might change. So if you'd like to stay connected to my content for more info on photography, the industry, and what to expect this year in the camera industry, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications so you see more of my videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.